Good morning. Welcome to Planet Mojo. It's been a few days since I made a video. We had company staying in their camper there. Today, I'm going to go on a walkabout, walk through the north pasture back here, loop around, go through the west pasture, and make my way back here. I want to assess what I need to get done before our next company comes. The toilet garden, as you can see, is just way overgrown. The way this gets this garbage grass in here every year, this is yellow foxtail, I believe. And I've been studying up on the weed grasses. This is witchgrass right here. It looks like the witch's broom. I believe I'm going to turn this into prairie grass as well, with scattered flowers, not try to do the all flower thing like this. It just gets too overgrown and it's too much work. It does look pretty cool over here with the zinnias, but I just don't have time for it. I need to naturalize everything. Over here, I have my prairie milkweed coming along real well. This stuff is going down. Well, I'll show that where I'm walking. This right here is Indian grass seed. I'm just going to toss this. I just got a couple pounds to toss down in the north pasture where I'm clearing the woods. Back at the Savannah project, it's not quite dying back as fast as I would like it. I'm going to spray glyphosate again here today, and I don't think I'm going to burn. Everything's really damp. We got 2 inches of rain 2 days ago, and the dew has just been huge every morning, so it's been soaking wet back here. I need to kill this greenery back and plant oats back here, winter oats, and then I'll plant the prairie grasses and everything next year. The Concord has gone insane. It's traveling all the way through the wisteria, just gone nuts. I really need to get in here and prune that back, but there's so few grapes on it, I don't know if it's even worth it. The corn is just going nuts. This stuff is, some of it is over 11 feet tall now, and it's just got ears galore. You got 1, 2, 3, oh, there's like 10 ears on some of these. You know, they're tillered so much that there's, 6, 7 stalks on some of these, it looks like. So it looks like I'll get a bumper crop of that. The milkweed is just crazy. This milkweed has to come out of here. It's just way too invasive to have common milkweed in here. That other milkweed will be going in here instead. The prairie milkweed. This stuff is just nuts. It's invaded the entire garden. But as you can see, we got witchgrass, we got yellow foxtail, and the weed and seed stuff like this here are making a debut. There's Maisie May. Maisie cat. So a lot of the stuff is dying back, and some stuff like the weed and seed, cosmos and other, are just making their debut. this foxtail doesn't look bad, but it's just so invasive, and I don't want it washing into the prairies, which will be all over the place. Yeah, we'll be getting another flush of flowers very soon. And this is the little blue stem prairie. This, I don't know, this does not look like the pictures of what little blue stem should look like. We'll have to see as this gets bigger. This chunk right here was planted in a pot, so I could identify the other stuff growing here. And I haven't seen any pictures of it looking like this. So I'm gonna ask the folks at Roundstone to look at this video and see if they can identify this. I mean, it should be little blue stem, but look at it. And there's nothing blue about it, but there's more of that stuff going on over here. Maybe this is just what they look like first year. But the seed heads are what I'm worried about. I don't think it looked like that in the pictures I've seen. The rest here, you can see some like crabgrass and witchgrass and other weedy grasses popping up taller than what I'm guessing is little blue stem, but I just don't know. This was all sprayed with 2,4-D about a week ago, and most of the broadleaf stuff died back. But new stuff, of course, has started up. So I go through here and weed and seed, pull out obvious weeds, and toss little blue stem seed in the hole that was created and cover it up. I'm hoping I get a fairly decent stand of little blue stem here. Then I'll mix other plants in with it once I have a fairly pure stand. Like this right here. I think this is crabgrass right here. And there is witchgrass back there. Which of these are little blue stem? I really don't know. I think that is. But there's not a lot for identification on the web. You know, a lot of this stuff looks just like weeds. So we'll see. Because it's a perennial, next year it will survive, and most of the weedy stuff is annual, so that'll be the big giveaway next year. Round pen looks pretty good. So does the dry lot here. I think my wife cut the grass. I fixed that. I think my daughter cut the grass as well, so between the two of them, looks like it's cut in there. I've killed this back again with glyphosate and got a little further back into there and got around the rocks a bit better. This is the ledge that we live on. It runs through the woods and around behind the house, and I'm exposing parts of it back in the Savannah project. Well, this is part of the Savannah as well. This will be cleared out. I believe I will be planting a big bur oak right in here somewhere. But this is looking pretty nice here. My wife got down here and cut the trails, so it's a lot easier to walk down here now, or ride. My daughter and a friend of hers are riding later today. You can see there's the posts for a gate right there. So we want to have the ability to take the horses right through that gate, come down this trail, And I'll show this up here. We'll be connecting the road right through here. I have to stay far enough away from this big old oak here, which is part of the savanna. See, there's that one right there is the one that you see in all the other oak savanna videos. That's the one right behind the house. There's two there, there's one there, there's another one right back in there. And then where's that? There's this one is a walnut, but that one's gonna stay as well. So this will all be cleared in here. Most of it's dead, and the stuff that's lower down is mostly invasive species. So this will all get cleared out and prairie grass planted in here. I'm hoping to get this far down this year, get all the way from the house down to here, and then start moving that way. But the stuff up towards the top is just so dense. I'd kind of like to get that too. We'll see. But this road, this is the old deer trail. This was a huge deer trail, and it runs right through here as well. Here comes a cat. She likes to walk with me. So we want to connect this with the new property and go all the way to the other end of that, which would be another, I don't know, maybe 500 feet, 600 feet that way. It's a good ways that way, and then loop around through the field there and make a figure 8 and come back down to this. That's a job for a bulldozer. We're trying to hire a bulldozer right now to fix this road a bit, and then fix that crossing at the bottom. I think I'll show that. I'll show that in another video, what we're going to do down there. And here we are at the north pasture. A bit overgrown down here. I still haven't gotten this tree cut. It's not a high priority, so. But my daughter can't get in here to cut the grass. You got to cut the pasture after the horses are in here, otherwise the weeds will take over the broadleaf. Then you got to spray more. But I wanted to point out, here are the very last of the big trees, but these have no lower branches on them. This was really dense. We cleared this whole area, so I'm hoping these guys get some lower branches once we clear this area out. These are both black oak, I believe. It's really hard to see the leaves up there. They're either red or black. I'm here in the north clearing. This will be an oak savanna that the horses can graze in. We're gonna try that out and see how it works. Right now, I am tossing Indian grass seed. It's, I don't know, this is awful late in the year, but if I toss this much later, something else will start growing here. And it's a warm season grass, so I'm hoping at least some of it gets established. It'll take a while to get this to where we want it. You can see the grass seed that I threw in here earlier this year has really taken over in the areas that were clear to start with, or fairly clear. So I definitely need to come in here and knock down some more of this broadleaf stuff, the forbs, and get rid of more of these trees. Pretty much every one of these trees is going to go. I'm going to be planting, I believe 3 bur oaks in here and getting rid of most of the rest here. This will be a prairie back here. Well, it'll be an oak savanna, but it'll be very prairie-like, or a prairie portion of an oak savanna. Now we're going to see how the horses do in here. We'll graze them in here and see if they can help maintain it as a prairie. They've done experiments with it with cattle. Let's see how it does with horses. Another dead tree into the north pasture. What a pain. I believe this is black locust. There's one there, one here, one there, one there. Black locust or buckthorn, but either one will take over the entire woods. Much of this place is invasive species. I think a good chunk of Wisconsin is invasive species. But I'll be killing all that out and redoing this as a oak savanna slash pasture. We'll see how that works. Yeah, I'll have to come in here with crossbow tomorrow and get rid of all this, the suckering trees and invasive stuff. But other than that, it's looking pretty good, dying back pretty well. My daughter's up in the round pen working the horse, well, working one of the horses. Horses have been doing very well lately. We had an 11-year-old niece here a few days ago, and she rode the big guy that's running around up there, and he did just fine with her. And he's a little high-spirited. This is the North Prairie. If you've seen the earlier videos, this was all buckthorn through here. I cut all of that down, and I've killed this back a couple times. And once I burn this stuff in the fall, I'm going to be planting likely prairie grasses, but I'm putting my prairie milkweed up there by the ditch. This is the chestnut, American chestnut, and the rabbits had completely girdled it over the winter, and I cut it off, and it suckered. Oh, there was probably 4 or 5 suckers coming out of the ground, but this is the sucker that I chose, and I just strapped it a little bit with some disintegrating strapping and let it go, and this is what I got. It's roughly the same size as what it used to be, but it was way too sprawling before. I like this shape a lot better. I'm going to cut off these lower branches and put a tube around it to keep it from being gnawed at, but I will still have to fence this for the deer this winter. At some point, gotta stop babying the thing. These American chestnuts just have such a hard time around here. In the west pasture, just got a ton of yellow foxtail all over along the road. I'm gonna have to get rid of that. But we have some forbs coming back, some broadleaf stuff. This looks like crabgrass or something similar. The weedy annuals all have a similar appearance. They kind of lay on the ground like that. But you can see the bunch grasses in here. I think that's orchard grass right there. That is a weed. Most of them don't have very much roots, so they're real easy to yank out. The perennial grasses get a very extensive root system. The warm season grasses can have 10-foot deep roots, like big blue stem. So this was sprayed, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. But we have stuff like this, and that, and that. This area was pretty dense with small trees, so it's taken a while to kill it back. You never know if stuff has been sprayed before or not, if it keeps coming back, which it shouldn't. If it's sprayed with something strong, like glyphosate or maybe crossbow or trichopler. But I'm going to come in here and spray with crossbow. Probably not today, likely tomorrow. I gotta spray 2 tanks where I just was in new pasture, and probably only 1 here. Yeah, you can see all the bunch grasses, which is what this field is supposed to be, orchard grass. Orchard grass is a bunch grass, so it should be forming lots of these right next to each other. That will be the end look, and hopefully there'll be none of that, which is foxtail, yellow foxtail. Yeah, lots of trees coming up in here. That's a walnut. I was looking up the tree of heaven, which looks like a walnut. We don't have any here yet, but that's another new invasive species that will make its way to us. This is witchgrass, and it looks like the horses have been chewing on it, which is a good thing. You can see the places where the forestry mulcher came through and clipped it down to the ground, the trees and stuff. And then I threw grass seed in here. So there's like paths of grass coming through. But he went around all these bigger trees. The forestry mulchers really can't handle the larger trees. So they're not extremely useful. Yeah, we got a lot of junk in here that's going to have to be cleaned up in the fall. We'll have to get my daughter and some of her friends in here to help and stack this stuff up and do a fall burn. Yeah, I sprayed this area not too long ago, a week or 2. Most of the stuff is dying back quite well, but as per usual, new stuff pops up. But soon it'll all be gone. I did toss seed in all the bare patches as well. It's not real good timing again for that's cool season grass. This is orchard grass in here. But if you don't have seed in there, then whatever wants to grow has free reign. Not sure if this is orchard grass or not, but it looks pretty cool. The old center fence line ran right through here. Got to take that out. Yeah, I don't know with trees like this. This is I'm not sure if it's a shagbark hickory or not. It's not very shaggy except way at the bottom, but it's a beautiful tree. We'll have to see if it gets nuts this year and see what they look like. The pig nut is very easy to spot, which most of our hickory trees are. If that's a shagbark, it's a much bigger nut. Garlic mustard all through here. There's a giant, that whole corner back there was garlic mustard. Another invasive species. Here it is here too. This whole area was garlic mustard this spring, I believe. Not much left. Once you have tall grass like this, not much will grow other than the grass. It shades it out. And that is a giant patch of pigweed, I believe. This is the area that I worked on this spring. I took out all those trees up there, these, and then I was taking out 4 a day, 4 or 5, dicing them up and burning them. And I'll start that again soon. The weather will start cooling off soon, and I'll be able to do some cutting. I would rather not spend my time cutting this stuff, but it has to be done. I want to spend most of my time in the oak savanna and get that ready for spring planting. We have trees that are going in there, as well as prairie grasses and lots of planting and stuff over there. But the invasive stuff and weedy trees need to be gone first, so got a lot of work over there. Hi, Bluesy. Hi, big girl. Mr. Mark's over there getting worked. Don't care, do you? Yeah, we were hoping to get the horses to eat this yellow foxtail, but it doesn't seem to matter. If you cut it back, it just creates seed heads right at the ground. The only way to get rid of this stuff really is to have really dense grass that you want there, which is a lot of seed. It's one of our wild apple trees. My daughter likes the apples like this, kind of green. There's tons of them on there. Some of them look really nice. And back at the machine shed, I'm gonna wrap this Walkabout up. Today I'm going to be testing the alternator, likely tightening up this belt, but I'm sure the alternator isn't putting out enough juice to the battery. The belt might be the problem, might be the connection, so I'm going to do some testing with the voltmeter, tighten this up, see if it's still doing it. If so, I'm going to have to replace this alternator. So stay tuned for that. That'll likely be out tomorrow. And a bunch of other ones too. I got to change the oil in the air cleaner. I'm going to change the radiator juice. Free up my Zerks. Stuff like that. Well, that'll wrap it up for today. Make sure you give us a thumbs up if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button and click on updates if you want to receive notice when we upload new videos. Thanks for watching and have a great day.